Dudes wanted trouble, grabbed the shovel and dug up some ditches, cover my body in dirt. But that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was a body double. And we've done dozens of switches. Drake's not only a rapper, but is he a magician too? You can't call Kendrick's bomb disses. Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us, Gimmicks. Drake is so sad and depressed in his damn freestyle, he couldn't even pronounce the name of one of his most well-known albums. Nothing was the same with all you bitches. Why is Drake calling himself Egyptian here, man? And the song is called Fighting Irish. Almost every single Drake line has aged horribly. Like that really just needs its own like 1 hour special. Why does Meet the Grams just keep aging so damn well? I can't understand it. So when everyone was like, Drake dropped the freestyle, I was like, wait, damn, did you say freestyle? Like he's rapping? I opened it up and I see this.
The summer is over, I missed it. Barrel was smoking, I kissed it. Fair showed us the renters for Texas, it's unrealistic.
This can't be anymore. Unpolished, offbeat, out of sync with his own notes. In the beginning, it sounds like there's a female saying, I'm recording. Like, I just don't get it. He's in front of this fireplace. Is he rapping in front of his girl? But I don't think Drake turned on the beat at the right time because everything is just off. He comes with this Fighting Irish freestyle, but where does this all completely fall apart? Let's talk about it. It's ironic that Drake is trying to rap now because he had 8 long months to rap after the battle, but instead he gave us strange tracks like Guandalila and started singing in Spanish on a Mexican song called Moto Capone. Now, after things are simmering, Kendrick moved on, dropped a whole new album of hits. We get this sorry-ass sad freestyle 8 months later of you trying to take some new shots and restructure the narrative and these like weird light jabs that go nowhere. Let's get into the worst lines in the Fighting Irish freestyle. Okay, firstly, the title. Okay, is Drake Irish now? Like, come on, man. Come on, y'all. Come on. I'm really getting tired of this. I'm chameleon. I'm every race and culture vibe. Like, one, he's Jewish, then Christian, then flattery towards being Muslim that comes out of nowhere, then white, black, then he's a fighting Irish, and then I'm actually Egyptian. Like, what? It's getting too much, man. I mean, I appreciate the shout out. Like, if I'm any race or culture or religion, like he decides to compliment based on the weather. But I don't know. I don't think I understand it anymore. And this is what fans, I think they get confused about his identity. Like that's the problem. It's like, who are you exactly? And that's kind of what Kendrick was saying. It's like he's playing a game where the less I reveal about who I am, the better and more mysterious I am. But it feels like he's just so far gone from this and he really needs to start speaking his truth, especially now. All right, next line. The world fell in love with the gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. Seem like they loved every minute. Just know this is personal to us. This wasn't just business. See, this is the part that bugs me. Like, you can't call Kendrick's bomb disses. Euphoria, 616 in LA, Meet the Grams, Not Like Us, Gimmicks. Like that play, it just isn't going to work anymore. Like this was all like a magic, like no. It's a gimmick because Kendrick's raps landed. So I guess it wasn't a gimmick when Drake, you created an AI voice of Tupac. No, not gimmicky at all. Of course not. It wasn't a gimmick to create a replica of the Good Kid, Mad City van on the cover and crush it. It wasn't a gimmick when you said, I think that baby might be Dave Freeze. No gimmicks at all. That narrative just doesn't work anymore. Like, just stop using it. Like, people aren't that slow. They know what's going on. Despite the intensity of Kendrick's lyrics, we all know in the end, we all know that we could consider this somewhat of a game of chess at least. Like, you don't have the right to play chess with someone, right? Like, I don't know if anyone knows the game of chess, it's a hard game. Like, you don't have the right to play chess with an opponent, play it hard, and then when you lose, say, he won the game of chess because he was a gimmick. That's the thing about chess. Like, you cannot win with gimmicks. You actually have to know how to play. And that's how I saw this rap beef. Like, there's no gimmicks here. You just have to play it right. All right, he says, analyzing behavioral patterns is somewhat suspicious. I don't know if we heard that right because it sounds like to me, like he's calling out Kendrick or whoever for analyzing his behavior. And it sounds like he's upset that someone is analyzing his behavior, his character. But it's actually not suspicious at all. This is what makes me feel like Drake is just using AI. It's very common and it's actually basic human nature for people to watch for people's actions, like and judge them for it, like whether they're good, bad, friendly, or hostile. Like we do that all the time. It's almost like he's a culprit. If you're like bad, it's like don't watch my like don't judge me, don't look at my actions. Like it's like he knows. I don't know. It's just a strange line. Next line. Dude was never happy for me when I run up the digits. But when I'm breaking world records still, as I guzzle a Guinness, or when I get my fifth Maybach, because the color is different. What is this ice spicy like lyrics? Like, and you know, that's exactly why some fans hate you. Are you that far removed, Drake, from reality? Like, that's the exact reason why fans might hate you. It's that type of behavior that makes people envy, hate, and turn on you. Like, so you want to be like this, I'm breaking world records and drink booze at the same time and be seen like, nah, look at Drake. He's so cool. He's breaking records. But look, he's drinking a Guinness at the same time. No, like we hate that. Like we don't want to see you. We don't want to see you like that. Like we want to feel like, yo, he works hard. Not acting like you so good and entitled and you're so unbothered this whole damn time. Next line. Remember we traded watches. I gave you that Arabic dial. You gave me a numbered edition. You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician. Sure convinced the gang this shit was rooted in love when it isn't. Figured we was always gonna be close like ovens and kitchens. I was sadly mistaken. The loyalty wasn't a given. It's all good. Takes another sip of wine. You know, beside these lines being really basic ass similes, like checking on my son like a pediatrician, addition, I'm not gonna lie, like this lyrical tirade, it felt sad as hell to me. Like it really does. Like it really sounds depressing as hell. And like Drake is really hurt and coping. And rightfully so. Like, even though I would say Kendrick is clearly the better MC and obviously won the battle, if people like LeBron or whoever like Drake like thought was a true friend, if they turned on him during this, I would say it's deeply saddening to anyone, like for sure. But that's something I think you have to take to them or just like leave it alone. Like don't bring it up in a freestyle because again, I don't think like us fans, like I don't know about you all, and I don't think we care much about like whatever the hell like LeBron James is doing like as it relates to the rap beef. Like that's not why we think Drake lost. You know what I mean? Like it isn't that. And if we don't care, right? Then I'm not sure what this accomplishes. Like when you bring up this in a lyric, is he trying to do this to send a message to LeBron? Look how sad I am. Like, look what you did to me. Like, just hit him, bro, with a text. I don't know. Be like, bro, you're a snake and we're done. And never talk about him ever again in the public light, right? Like, that's how you do it for a friend that betrays you. But coming into a freestyle and whining about betrayal from your, by your closest friend, it's sad. And low key, I would say even more empowering to Kendrick in a weird way. It ends up saying more about Drake's character than he might think. We knew you had beef with Kendrick, right? He ripped you apart. And then even your own closest friends decided to join in? That's confusing, right? Like, why? Because a good friend will stand by you through thick and thin. Like, it just makes it look worse. Like, just get these lines out of the freestyle. All right, next line. Cold shoulders I gave in the Hamptons. It comes with the distance. This line, it was a little interesting because it shows, like, remember when we all saw Drake going to the white party in the Hamptons, right? When the Not Like Us music video dropped. And it's kind of telling us that he was actually uneasy and distant with all the other celebrities, like wondering who's a real one and who is like, yo, F this dude. Because when this first happened, I know I was like, oh, okay, like Drake going to this like fancy white party or whatever it is to get away from the beef. And like Kendrick's not invited. But now we see even Drake was actually hurt and putting up walls back then, right? That's kind of interesting. Which again, I don't blame him per se for that. Because even though some said Michael Rubin, the head of the party, told people like not to play Kendrick there at all, I know for damn sure some celebrities was watching that Not Like Us music video in the bathroom. I know it. Like, yo, check this out. Kendrick, what? He's at the Compton courthouse? Drake walks in. We were just washing our hands. Next line. Dudes wanted trouble, grabbed the shovel and dug up some ditches. Cover my body in dirt. But that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was a body double. And we've done dozens of switches. I love this. I can't. I can't. Like, here we go again. Here we go again with the ones feeding you the information. They all clowns. I fed you the information. Is Drake pulling the I fed you the information card again? Like, you dug up my body, but that was my clone. You dug a ditch and thought you buried me, but I put a stunt double inside there. Drake's not only a rapper, but is he a magician too? Like, these are the strange Drake takes that honestly, like, are just purely hilarious to me. Like, I don't know how to describe them. Like, it sounds like a little ice spicy. Like, you punched me in the face, but that wasn't me. It was my twin. Then he says, we done dozens of switches. Like, what does that even mean? Like, is this like a Drake side mission? Like, he's been cloning himself the whole time. He has a stunt double for every conflict. That's actually kind of interesting and hilarious at the same time. I imagine Drake, like, every time he gets hit, he reveals his stunt double and like starts paying him off. Oh my God. Next line. Dudes tried to light the front gate up. It wasn't for Christmas. I said a prayer that morning for Sean, and it wasn't religious. It came from a place of desperation and utter submission. This sounds like it's the issue where Drake's house, right, got shot up. And I'm assuming the person who got shot, their name is Sean. Again, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I don't want to make light of the shooting or anything like that. Like, that's definitely not a good thing and deeply saddening. But can we just look at this one line for a second? Dudes tried to light the front gate up, but it wasn't for Christmas. Like, come on, man. Like, no, like, these metaphors ain't it. Ice Spice has to stop ghostwriting for Drake. I'm sure it's good money and all, but no, just stop. Next line. Dude started effing with my family. I'm going to prison. And we all crashing out together. My brother's complicit. Who put a pipe bomb in your trunk? Wasn't Xzibit. I'm trying to blow the doors off that bitch when you touch the ignition. All right. Drake is literally saying, I'm putting pipe bombs in your car. Like, is he like literally saying that? Like, here goes Drake again, acting like the thug that we know he's not. Does Drake want to rap, sing, be a good guy, be a gangster? I really don't know anymore. Like, I just feel like Drake is getting kind of sassy here. I never seen him talk like this. Like, this is literally like drill type. And shout out to Screw for catching this thing about Xzibit. I watched Screw's reaction and he went crazy on this bar. Respect to him for all his reactions and catching this line. But honestly, to me, this line was kind of strange. Like, just doing a strange callback to something that is just really so esoteric. No offense to Xzibit, but Drake doing a random callback to the rapper Xzibit, who did that line just in a feature on a song from, I don't know, was this like 15 years ago? Xzibit's line, this line where he says, and watch you panic like the bitch you are. I'm the mechanic with a pipe bomb that fits your car. Kaboom! Now I assume your homies want to retaliate. So it's interesting because there is a strong parallel here to Xzibit's lines and Drake's lines here. Like, I do think people got this line wrong, and I think it's wrong on Genius. Like, people are saying, he's saying, who put a pipe bomb in your trunk? It was an Xzibit. But no, I actually think he's saying, who put a pipe bomb in your trunk? It wasn't Xzibit, aka it was us, it was me, right? If you read all the lines, which is kind of scary, like this drill energy. Like, this would have been nice during the beef. But not right now, especially like in a sad song, like this sorry, sad freestyle. Like, all of a sudden you're going into drill vibes. Next line. Who's got the most to lose and who's in that other position? I don't know, man. This just seems like, did ChatGPT write these lines? Like, what does that even mean? Who's the other guy? Who's the other person? Kendrick? And all this, like, I got so much to lose thing, you know? I just don't buy it. All this stuff, and especially against Kendrick. Kendrick got clout off Drake. Like, Kendrick, we all know, is just the GOAT in hip hop, classic albums. Like, there's no one getting clout off. These were two GOATs as they were. Drake obviously was on top of the game. They went at it. Kendrick won. It is what it is. Like, Drake doesn't have more to lose than Kendrick. Like, I'm sorry. That narrative, I can't buy. Unless he's referring to someone else, I really don't know. Next line. So, I don't know. Like, part of me wants to give some credit to Drake rhyming, and another part, like, just feels like it really all just sounds like AI. So, let's get to this next line. And what does this even have to do with the previous line, right? He says, who's got the most to lose and who's in that other position? Signal conversations. Boy, I hope they got double encryption. Like, you're messaging people, but do you have encryption? I don't know, man. Like, Signal. Okay, so Signal, I guess, is that app where I think people can do some type of like one-time security chatting. I don't know anyone who uses it. It's just, this line is just random. And that's the part that makes me feel like AI is involved. All right, so then he goes on, next line. I'd hate to see the empire crumble on judges' convictions. This dude pulled a rabbit out the hat, and y'all love a magician. And okay, let's talk about this. How is it even possible though? Like this is what gets me. Like almost every single Drake line has aged horribly. Like that really just needs its own like 1 hour special. How is this even possible? It literally feels like the Twilight Zone. Like, never look twice at no teenager, except for that viral video of me and the 7-year-old. Just forget that one. I'm too rich for the shit you just suggested. If I was effing girls, I would have already been arrested. Like Drake saying it would suck if the courts were involved. And we all know he's doing the shakedown on after Not Like Us on Kendrick and UMG and all this kind of stuff. He's petitioning the courts to get him all this information. Not Like Us was botted and all this kind of ironic. But here's something I think is interesting that I do think is going unnoticed about this line. I actually think that this is some foreshadowing and clue that Drake was trying to sue and kind of he was trying to send this clue out. Because this clip, like if you check, I think it's like looks like Drake has braids. It looks older, right? We all know like he's cut the braid. I mean, I feel like maybe this is something he wanted to drop and maybe he never did. And here he seems to be describing that I hope you guys are actually secure in the way you're moving, right? I hope you got double encryption because if this continues, I will sue you. Like that's how it sounds to me. I'd hate for your empire to fall because of a judge's conviction against you. Not his empire. I think he meant Kendrick's empire. That's how I saw it. All right, next line. The one I mentioned. This dude pulled a rabbit out the hat, and y'all love a magician. You know, I thought Drake was the magician. Right? He just, like, wasn't he the one earlier to say that he's doing magic tricks? You burned me, but it wasn't me. It was my double. Like, now he's calling Kendrick the magician? Like, random. Right, next line. It's funny to see you all rejoicing and hugging and kissing. What are we celebrating? I'll rent out the club in addition. Bro, I just hate this line. I'm really tired of this, like using the same Kendrick lines. And even, Joey Badass did it in his line where he called himself the Elohim, like which Kendrick already did in 616 in LA. Kendrick already used that on you. These rappers, I don't know what's going on. Like he already used that in the first song of the beef, like that. It's 3 ghosts left and I see 2 of them hugging and kissing on stage. Like this has to be a rule posted somewhere for rappers. You can't use the exact phrase of the other rapper in the beef. You have to alter it. Then the random ass line after. What are we celebrating? I'll rent out the club in addition. Like literally just rhyming addition with hugging and kissing. Like what the actual hell? How do you go from that to this? How is this not ChatGPT? Next line. I can't be the only one who noticed. Nothing was the same with all you bitches and nothing's forgiven. This one sent me. Drake is so sad and depressed in his damn freestyle, he couldn't even pronounce the name of one of his most well-known albums. Nothing was the same. I'm sorry. Maybe am I messing? I kept trying to look for entendres like to help Drake out for this, but I'm sorry, I couldn't. Please don't tell me I'm missing something here that nothing stands for something else. The album is called Nothing Was the Same. Poor Drake, man. All right, next line. He can't even say the name of his own damn albums. But next time, bury me in gold. My blood is Egyptian. The Dennis James come out when the vodka is flooding my system. Why is Drake calling himself Egyptian here, man? And the song is called Fighting Irish. I get the gold reference here, but come on, man. I can't understand Drake anymore. The man goes from white, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Irish, and Egyptian all in the same damn song. Is it just me? And then again, the Dennis James, when the vodka is flooding my system. That's exactly what Kendrick called him out for in Meet the Grams. You're making his bars age so well. Then the next line, I don't have a drinking problem. I got a subtle addiction. I got my father's habits and I got my mother's permission. What does that even mean? That sounds exactly like an addict, first of all. Like, I don't really have an addiction. Isn't that what like every addict says? And then why does he diss his own father in the same damn line? What am I missing here? He calls himself a subtle addict. And then in the same sentiment, he says that he has his father's habits. Why does Meet the Grams just keep aging so damn well? I can't understand it. I can't put my hand on why all of Kendrick's disses are truly, like, not as a Kendrick fan, literally like just aging so well. What he said about the father, what he said about this, what he said about the drinking problems. Drake, what does your mother's permission have to do with this? All right, next line. My dad has another child. I told him that wasn't my sister. He's trying to say, Kendrick said that I have another daughter. And my son was like to me asking, do you have another child? Because that's not my sister. No, don't do that. Leave him out of this. Or at least say something more clever. But no, don't act and try to tell the perspective of your son, Adonis, and what his reaction is to Kendrick's Meet the Grams. Like, don't do that. I'm sorry. If you're a father, like, it comes off so damn sad. And it's not even a diss back to Kendrick. It's just a sad call out. Next line. Grew up with dozens of Jews, churches with dozens of Christians. Also, developed a deep respect for the Muslim religion. First, he's like, I use pipe bombs, I'm blowing off your doors. Then he grew up with a lot of Jews and Christians, and he respects the Muslim religion. Like, what does this even mean? Like, where's the context? Where's the connection? Then the line itself also doesn't make sense. He says, grew up with dozens of Jews, churches with dozens of Christians. What do you mean? You grew up with churches? No, it's just like, I grew up with people, houses, cars, money. Bro, I can't anymore. All right, next line. I'm staring at my daddy while y'all tell me I wasn't that. Okay, I'm sorry. I really don't like these lines. It sounds to me like the intro of Family Matters. Him saying, I'm looking at my father, and you all are saying, I'm not that guy. I'm not the one. But also sounds like an entendre, like I'm looking at my father and you all are still questioning my identity and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one to say this. Like, I'm sorry, but for someone like Drake, say he has a black father and a white mother, the line to me just feels off. It just feels like a negative line. And also, in a subtle way to me, it reinforces to me the confusion around Drake's identity and the things that Kendrick was calling out in Euphoria. Because it's like, okay, look, you have an identity because it's you and who you are, right? I get that race and culture is inherited, right? In a way, right? But everything is inherited, right? You don't necessarily take pride in something by calling someone else out. You take pride in something by saying how it's you, what you love, what you hate, your actions, right? This is me. This is who I am. You don't say, I'm a good guy. Just look at my mom. No, you're a good guy because you're good. So I don't like the way he makes this reference about his identity. That's my take on it. In the end, he's really not saying much. And these all over the place lines and these light jabs, they just don't land.